You've heard people talk about co-design, but what does it actually mean? This is co-design made simple. Welcome to Panda Island, a peaceful, contented island where the sun often shines and the birds like to sing. But there's one small problem. The people living in South Island and those living in North Island find it difficult to visit one another. It's a long way and it's easy to get lost. 10 years ago, the Panda Council had a meeting at which Linda thought the island could do with a bus service. Dave and Jim agreed that this was a good idea. Dave's cousin had a bus and Jim came up with the timetable. And so the Panda bus service went into action and it's been running ever since. But the buses are always empty and the council have started to wonder why. They realised that more thought needs to go into a service. The bus service hadn't been designed, it had simply happened, and it had stayed the same way for 10 years. It was time for a change, and so they brought in designers who had a new approach up their sleeve. But just a second, let's make this clear. This isn't a focus group and it's not a survey. It's not management consultancy, and it's not an expert panel. Co-design is about capturing lots of different perspectives, insights and experiences to work together towards better solutions and using innovative and creative techniques. So the council organised an event where lots of people could come together in a comfortable environment to voice their opinions. People from all over Panda Island came. People who used the bus, people who wanted to use the bus, people involved in running the bus, and the bus designers too. For instance, meet Meredith Speckle. She lives in South Island, but there's a bridge club in North Island she's been dying to go to. Thing is, she has a wheelchair, and she never manages to make it to the weekly gatherings. Sam and Eric live in North Island, but they go to school in South Island. Every morning they have to get up very early to walk to school, and often it's dark by the time they get home. This is Peter. He runs a market stand on Saturdays in North Island, and desperately wants to go to the Sunday market in South Island, but he has no way of getting his merchandise all the way there. Derek here is a professor of wheels at Panda University, and Simon has been driving the bus for 10 years. Together they have lots of experience under their belts, and both agree that it's time for a change. When they thought about Meredith's wheelchair, they designed a ramp so she could easily get on and off the bus, and they made sure there was plenty of room inside. It turned out lots of Sam and Eric's friends had to walk a long way to school every day, but they didn't all live in North Island. They were dotted all over. Together they formulated a bus route and timetable so that lots of them could use the bus. This was all very well, but Peter still couldn't carry all of his merchandise to South Island. It was actually Simon, the bus driver, who thought of putting a rack on the top of the bus so that he could easily load his things. The bus that was eventually designed was designed based on a whole host of personal experiences right across the board of Panda Island. The result was a bus service that was a source of great pride and pleasure amongst the service users and providers. This made it sustainable because so many people had contributed and they could see that contribution in the end product. But co-design needn't be about buses. It's an approach with its own set of tools that can be applied to all sorts of services. Its only limits are your imagination.